mothers to this amazing little chat that we're going to have, the need of the hour. And the topic for today is, this is a war-like situation between India and Pakistan, and we are all glued to TV. There are a lot of emotions that are coming up for us. But at the same time, we are all mothers and responsible mothers. So here, through this talk, I would like to highlight what should be the correct role of a mother in this time, in this situation. And mothers have always led the way for their children to be on the right path. So when there's a lot of emotions, there is a lot of hatred mongering, there's a lot of fake news that is going on. So it is a very tightrope walk, to not let our children slip onto the other side and start hating things or start consuming fake and enraged kind of videos, and have a more balanced take on these kind of situations, because these situations actually are a training ground then how to behave and operate when you are in this kind of a situation in life. Okay, so I would like you to share your views on this, what they should be doing. I strongly feel that mothers have a very, very strong role to play, and while children can go be very enraged about this Pakistan did that, Pakistan did this, it's our role to keep them a little balanced and say, okay, let's not hate everything. I know there's rage of like a lot of emotions that are going on, but still, in such emotional situations also, we have to remain calm and think properly before we speak anything or we talk anything. Okay, yes, I would like to know from you. Suchira, you can go first.
Yes, so hello is a very, I think is a nice topic, is the need of the hour right now. And I think I would just share my experience with it because I have a 10-year-old daughter. And I think kids these days, most of the time they're spending in school or at home doing whatever activities they have these days. So I think school is doing what they can right now. So I would say as a parent, as a mother, I have few do's and don'ts that I just follow with my child at home. So let me just share one, two of them, because what I feel with my daughter is I think as a mother, I just need to create a very calm and a secured atmosphere at home. Nothing alarming, or I think the social media or the news, they always just emphasize on something which is the most dramatic aspect of the whole conflict. So what I try best is I avoid, or I would say rather, I limit my daughter's exposure to news these days and to social media to avoid her to any alarming news or any unverified content, I would say, because we know there's a lot of unverified content going around on TV. So just limit the exposure of kids. And also, most important, what I do is age appropriate information. That's it. Whatever conversations we have need to be very much age appropriate.
Yeah, this is very good. But then what happens is your daughter is still small. What about children who are, who are already on social media and they are getting all this? Okay, Dr. Priyanka, I would like to know from you.
Yeah. So thanks, Nirmit, for this opportunity. I think it's a very relevant topic, right? There are multiple times in our lives or maybe our children's lives where we're going to have to go through these kinds of unheard, unexpected events. Time taking care of the emotional regulation of your children, it's actually a beautiful opportunity to teach them how can we respond rather than react in this situation. So I'm in Mumbai. Luckily, we are in a place where we're not directly impacted. But yes, my daughter, she's 13. She has all the updates on what is happening. So how do we manage in our house is definitely, as Suchira says, create an atmosphere of security. At the same time, I tell them, what can we do sitting here to support our nation, right? We are not going to go out there on the battlefield. And so rather than feeling scared, can we start feeling empowered, saying, okay, what is the least that we can do? Right? Whether it's gratitude and expressing positive feelings, sending positive energy to those people who are there protecting us. Whether it's doing Hanuman Chalisa to help protect those people who are on the battlefield, their families, what they must be going through. So I think it's a beautiful opportunity to discuss topics which are very sensitive, What would those mothers be going through who know that their kids are there on the battlefield? It creates a sense of empathy in our children. So it shifts their attention from feeling afraid, what is going to happen to me? What if I die? What if the building gets, bombed? To, okay, this is a situation. I'm well informed that this is there. I know how to protect myself, but this is the least that I can do. So I think shifting our attention, shifting our energy really helps with their emotional regulation.
So one thing Suchira pointed out that was something so beautiful, that nowadays how anchors, how the news is delivered, they are very heightened emotions. They are screaming, breaking news, this is coming, that is coming. One thing was like, one channel, they were continuously blaring the siren in the background when Modi had to intervene and say, "Ki, stop that," because when actual siren goes off, then what will happen. People won't know whether it's somebody playing news or it is actually true. So this is the way it is being presented, and this is why it is important for us to guide children, though we are glued. That one is, look at the government's briefing. That is the right thing. That is very much important. Second thing is, okay, this is, we have to, this is the time to tell them that they are doing it because of certain things that are as a part of business. Okay, they are all fighting for a space in that small digital world. Okay, so it is very much important that these heightened emotions that are expressed in news channels, they are like subdued, and we talk to our children and we calm them, because they are some small children can get scared also, the way things are going on. It's bombing, this and that, and this is happening, that is happening. It is actually scary. So this is something very, very important. One more thing that I would like to emphasize on is this is the opportunity when we can talk to them, especially the grown up kids. We can talk to them about world politics, about telling them what the right thing is, how history was, what is a particular country's interest. We can talk about CPEC corridor, what is China's interest, what is Baluchistan's history, what is all these things. It's an opportunity to talk about all this, not wait for all this to come in curriculum after 10 years. Our children should know all this, and this is a good opportunity. What do you say, Dr. Priyanka?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that again, since we're talking about fear, the more informed our children are, the more educated
Yes.
they are, the less the fear is, right? So when we expose them to asking them questions about, can you find out that what happened? Why did this suddenly come up? What are the real reasons behind it? How did the US intervene? Why do you think the US intervened? Who is supporting India? And why do you think they're supporting India? What is Narendra Modi's take? So, all these things, because the kids are having these questions in their mind. When we see it on television, that, Saudi Arabia minister has come to India and he's trying to mediate a talk, Pakistan ambassador is going to the US. So as adults, we are also pondering, chal kya raha hai? So it's a good opportunity for us to also be educated with the right information and then pass it on to the children. Because I've noticed even in our house, initially we thought ki bacche dar jayenge, but then we realized that anyways they know everything. So might as well let's have some talks with them. So they start to feel that, yeah, this is what's happening. This is how we are safe. This is the real situation. And I think it's a good way for them to also mature, right? Because especially with preteens and teens, um, they have to anyways go through this. They have to know the world politics. They have to know current affairs. And this is going to shape everything in the coming year. All of their Model United Nations talks. I'm pretty sure in India, at least, a lot of their current competitions will be now based on this in the next year. So it's a good opportunity for us who are safe to start, talking about it. It's kind of a hidden advantage, I feel also.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, Priyanka, would you like to? Priyanka, to there are two Priyankas. Priyanka, over. Your take on this.
Hi, hi. So yeah, exactly. This time and this tension between no, the tension between two countries regarding this war. So actually, nowadays we already know that children has all they have social media. They can go through. They have televisions, and everyone is all these informations are popping up. So I think what as a parent or what as guardian can do is just to narrate some stories to them that they can guide them in a better way, because the emotions that all these televisions and the news channel has also, they are also inculcating some of hatred. Basically this
Absolutely.
the child might think that that country is not good, our country is better. So what kind of input are we giving to our child, that is very important. So we can talk about the stories, we can talk about the warriors, we can talk about the survivors and everybody who are actually proud to be Indian and proud to be the natives of other countries basically. So we are not here talking about which country is bad and which country is good. We are also talking about what kind of social values and citizen values we are going to give them as children. So this is what I
Very
think. And
important point, Priyanka, that you brought about is about, talking about the soldiers, talking about patriotism. Now, I have seen from my childhood the kind of patriotism that was there in our childhood that has seems to have, declined over the years. And the Gen Z, if you see, they are like they try to follow what is coming from the West, because they watch those YouTube channels. They watch them and they talk of, brown parents and all said, like, as if, we are something else. So they are just talking their language. And I have seen, because in our childhood, our parents had, and their parent had seen, that freedom fight, the struggle and all that, and they had seen all this, so they were very much, patriotic. And that is what they inculcated. I remember my when I was a small girl, my father used to tell about, stories. He used to tell about, those poems that were there, sarfaroshi ki tamanna hamare dil mein hai, all such things and incidents. He used to tell, how it used to be, and that used to inculcate so much of patriotism in us. But over the years I had seen that, it was dying. So Priyanka, you brought out a very, very beautiful point. This is the opportunity that, we inculcate this, arouse this patriotism for our country in a very balanced way, not going on the flip side of, hatred, but about the patriotism, about we should feel proud about our country. The way India has done, most of the things are like, made in India, and the way our armed forces are doing this. See, at no places have we, attacked their civilians, which is a very beautiful thing. Again and again and again, we kept saying we are only targeting. They were targeting our civilian era, still we were not targeting. We targeted their military bases when they started targeting our civilian areas. So our morality, that is there in our culture, in our Indian culture. I think this is the time to, talk more about this, have more talks about this over the dining table, rather than, other things. What do you say, Suchira?
If I may just add to this, I think this whole process of, teaching them about, our history and what they can, expect. I think what I do normally at home with my daughter would be, I suggest that we should not shut down questions, because a lot of times when kids, firstly, we need to validate their emotions, be it fear, anxiety, or curiosity. So firstly, every thought deserves a response. Every question deserves an answer. So what I do is I don't shut down questions. I would never respond to her and by saying, you are too young to understand, or you are too young to
Absolutely.
learn about that. So I would say, rather than that, every question that comes across, we should respond to those questions with honesty, but in a very calm and a non-threatening way. We should not make up stories and tell them, no, this is not the case, or just because we think it's going to develop fear in them, we come up with some other stories, fairy tale stories, comparing these this different stories and
Won't
telling them.
work nowadays in this social media world. It won't
Yeah,
work.
I think they deserve to know the reality. With honesty, you need to respond to them, but in a very non threatening and a calm way, it should be put across to them. And I think that can also be done by, we parents need to mind our language. That is what I need to say. So instead of using words like they always do this, or they never do this, they never, like we can't trust them. So instead of just generalizing these statements or using these phrases, rather we should just say, like, some leaders might think this way, or a certain group of people believe this way, instead of just saying they always, they never. So I think if we just mind the language that we're using with our kids, that can shape a lot of thoughts that is going on in them.
That's a very beautiful thought. So if a question has arisen in their mind, that means then they are ready for the answer. If the question has come to their mind, they're ready for the answers. We should give them the right answer instead of mixing up words and concepts. Yes.
Also,
What
I would
else?
say the approach, sorry, but I just want to add that the approach that we should use at home, which we are using, is prepared, not scared. So we need to prepare the kids and not scare the kids. So prepared, not scared. That is the approach we should look forward to.
I think everybody, all of us, we all, as we are seeing things, we are also researching a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I am. So when this news comes, that $1 billion loan was sanctioned, I researched. Okay, why? What is the history? What is happening? So this should be the thing that we should teach our kids also. That you don't have to accept everything that is coming on the face value. You have to research, you have to check the validity, as I think Dr. Priyanka also said, you have to check the validity before you do it. And it is very important, as Suchira said, that dialogues have to happen. We can never shut down things. Oh, this is not for you, or you're too young for all this, to discuss all this. So discussing would actually give them the right perspective, rather than they consuming some content from somewhere which could or could not be correct. So this is something very, very beautiful. Anything else that you would like to bring? So we've discussed telling them about world politics, inculcating patriotism. We talked about not getting scared, being prepared but not getting scared. All these things are so important. A mother's role never ends, and we need to continue. Every opportunity is some skill we can provide. So this is also one of the skill, that whatever you need to research, discuss, and then come to any conclusion. Okay. Any last words from you, Dr. Priyanka, Tomar, and Suchira?
So I think, it was a really beautiful discussion. The last thing is that a lot of times, as parents and as individuals ourselves, we start to get very flustered. And even if we're not showing it to our children, if it's happening inside, it's going to convey to our children, right? So we really need to take care of our own emotional stability in these moments. Whatever practices we need to do, rituals we need to do, breath work we need to do to keep ourselves centered, right? Because whenever our emotions are high, we'll never be able to think and talk properly and clearly. Intelligence becomes low. So along with whatever we are trying to convey to our children, let's make sure that we ourselves are not getting so impacted that we're out of control. Yeah, that's about it.
That's a beautiful thought, that we have to take care of our emotions also, because children don't do what they are told, they do what they see. So when they see us enraged about it, talking heatedly, oh, they did this, they're always like this, whatever we say to them, it will fall on deaf ears, because they will see that our parents are doing this way, so they will do, they emulate the parents. So it's a very, very beautiful another thought, that you have to take care of your emotions also, if you want your children to take care of their emotions.
I would just want to add to that. I think we can just take this opportunity to just practice more of, mindful activities with our kids. Just like Dr. Priyanka just mentioned that, we need to do some breathing exercise or something, just to ground our own emotions, so that whatever energy we radiate, the kids are picking that up. So just to add to that, when we are doing these mindful activities, we should just encourage the kids to just sit with us and practice some kind of mindful activities, so that they also calm down their senses, and they are also, more thoughtful and mindful in whatever is going, around them.
Absolutely. Priyanka, would you like to add something?
Yeah. Lastly, like Dr. Priyanka said and Suchira said, very greatly explained. Just one thing, how that is the role of mother, how we channelize their emotions, how we channelize their thinking basically. Because the kind of emotional connect that we make with our children, that's really great. And for this, I would lastly just say that it's very important. We should make our children ready for any type of crisis. It's not just war, it's everything. Our life is full of crisis. It's not like we are into our comfortable zone. It's not, life is not about it's not at all about comfortable zone. It's all about crisis. So how we prepare ourselves for crisis, how our emotional level should be, we should be strong enough to handle everything. And we are proud of our army, we are proud of our parents, we are proud of our everybody, our neighbors. How even we connect with our neighbors, that's also important. So everything comes within our family, everything comes from our family. So that is what we should do. It should start from our family actually.
Remember, very beautiful thing. We started with emotion, we've come full circle. But one thing that it is worth observing, and which is like you might have difference of opinion. You might have difference of opinion, but at the same time, when you're working as a group, then you have to forget all those differences and you project yourself as a single front, which I would congratulate all the political parties who have been fighting throughout. But when this came, this such important lessons. When it is the time to be united, they're all united. Okay, so they are not fighting amongst ourselves. They're they people thought that it would happen, that there would be Hindu Muslim riots in India, but no such thing happened. I think we are a very mature kind of a country, with very mature. So when it comes to politics or some elections etc going on, so then it's fine. We can have difference of opinion, and at times do things which ought not to be done. But when we are united working towards a single project, then we have to forget all our differences and then project ourselves as a single front. This is a very, very beautiful lessons that even children can have, that you can have. It's okay to have difference of opinion. But as a group, your project is very important. As a group, your goal is very important. Then you need not dilute it with the difference of your opinion. So, with that thought, I would love to take leave. And this is a beautiful discussion. I think it will be a beautiful gift to all the mothers out there, because of the kind of discussion we had. It just asks you to, just hold yourself, pause for some time, think, and then look at opportunities in any kind of crisis. We found so many opportunities in this crisis also, which can go unnoticed if you are just you going with the flow. So thank you so much, Dr. Priyanka Tomar and Suchira, for this beautiful talk. I'd love to have another such discussion next time with you guys.